Yes, yes, yes. We live once again at the D2E studio here, headquarters. And I got two good guests here. Before I have to say that, I have to say this here. Please subscribe to all the channels and all that. This is the Rastafari Samurai, never leaving you dry in your eye. And I approve this message nationwide. You done know, yo, man. And we are here for the show. We got two special guests here, man. Introduce yourselves, yo.
Jeez, vachi in the house. All y'all already know what it is.
And
It's your boy JC Jesse Christopher.
yes, son, no, yo. It's been fire for you guys lately, eh? Yo, I have that. Look. First things first, before I get into anything, this year started. What made you guys started to say, yo, we're gonna work together and start doing this fire?
It was before this year.
Oh yeah.
I know it was energy before this year, but the blueprint probably was last year. Not true?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of stuff, the stuff that you're seeing, that we just dropped 2 records in the last couple weeks here. Both those are from the summer.
Yeah.
Last
The
summer?
old
Stuff that we were
records.
building last summer. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that means you guys were already establishing the fire and going on like time to manifest it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what you're trying to say,
Oh yeah.
right? Straight up goods. But yo, the next thing I wanted to ask is this: how do you guys came across each other?
Chuck
You know what I
Ice.
mean?
Yo, we have to stay Chuck Ice, but Willie Capo.
Willie
Shout out
Capo.
to Chuck Ice and Willie Capo
Yes, sir.
because
Both of them.
a Hondo, if it wasn't for Capo,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
this wouldn't be a thing.
Shout out Capo.
Okay.
Shout out Chuck Ice. Both of them.
All
Yeah.
right, yo, shout out to them, man. Shout out to both of them, man. Because yo, the combination, I'm loving it, bro. I'm loving it. But yo, before we get to you, Vachi, I want to pick his brain a little bit. Man.
Yeah.
How long you been into music for?
Wow, whole life.
I know all your
grew
life,
up-
but when did you take it seriously?
I would say I've been doing it as a career for 10 years.
Okay, shit. 10 years. So that means, yo, there must have been another 10 years on top of that before it.
Oh, for
of,
sure.
Of the interest and inspiration. So, yo, who have you grew up with and inspired you, like, or influenced you
Yeah.
in music?
I grew up around a lot of music. So like my pop's a guitar player. I grew
Oh,
up in church. My
shoot.
mom was a choir director.
So it's in the DNA.
DNA,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, I get you.
Been around
there.
it.
I get you there. Wow.
I wasn't into sport. I wasn't into music growing up though. The
Okay.
funny part, it was until
So wait a minute.
I was sports. I was in sports.
Wait,
That was
wait,
my
wait,
shit.
hold on a second. You're telling me you got family based in music and you were in the music and you were into sports at first?
Oh yeah, big time. I was all
Shoot.
about sports, hockey, basketball, soccer. That was my
Okay.
life.
All right. Okay. That is very, very interesting. That is very, very interesting, man. So yo, who did you grow up listening to?
Oh man, it was rap wise.
It doesn't mean it could be.
I mean,
it could be anybody,
until the age
man.
of 12, it was probably like pure Christian music.
Okay.
It was just Christian music. That's what I was around.
So when you started listening to other music, it's like you're rebelling.
It was my. I remember specifically. It was Get Rich Die Trying. It was my boy's mini disc player. Mini disc player.
Oh,
He used to
no.
pass me the mini disc player. He used to
Oh,
listen to
yeah?
It changed you.
For real?
Yeah. I'll never forget that.
Holy shit, man. So yo, like, all right then, yo, let's get into this here, man. What made you wanted to start? Okay, before even recording, start writing your own music.
I think the first rap I ever wrote to beat was The Watcher, Dr. Dre off of Chronic. I remember
yeah.
me and my cousin.
Off of that beat?
Yeah, rap into that.
Okay. Okay.
The flow on that I thought was so cool, and then I found out Jay-Z wrote that later on. Yeah.
That was a tough beat, yo. With the
Whole
bass
project
and all of
crazy.
that. Straight up. So yo, from there on, like you wanted to take it to a different level and start recording.
It was a while before I started recording.
No? Oh, so you just kept on writing.
It was more just writing. At
training, getting your mind set.
The truth is, I didn't really know how to rap. I didn't know how to put bars together. I didn't know what constituted a line, meters, all that.
So you had to like study that and everything.
I had to learn. Oh yeah.
You have to learn. You see what I'm saying, people? You have to learn. And I've been saying this from a long time. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to take influential, from great from the past and stuff like that, but you turn it into your own from learning, You know what I'm saying? Straight up, because we all went to school and we had to learn things that we didn't really want to learn.
True.
But now I ask this with the certain youngins, eh? Straight up. So you're in the art and you're trying to master the art. But like, you know, like the Renaissance and all of that. The Renaissance is how many years ago and shit. So yo, some of these artists is not so many years ago, you know. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like on the real. Like, just take a little moment. There's something called YouTube, you know, and yeah, do a little bit of research and shit. I'm sure that you both have done that in like even before you started getting serious with the music and things like that. You know, we all listen to music. I'm a fan of the music. That's why I do this. You know what
you gotta be a student. If you really love it, you gotta be a student.
You're damn right, man. You're damn right. So, yo, you do your own mixing and mastering, no?
Yeah, production.
Shoot, so, all right, yo, before I even get to that, man, that's a whole different world, bro. Yo, so you started writing, you started freestyling, mastering your art, you know, and all of that and everything. So from there, what made you thought, like, you know, think, and or better yet, the first rap or sheet you had that this is the first one I'm going to record?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is a question I hardly get to ask people. Say,
what made me do that?
No, what influenced you or gave you the idea to start do this? You know what? I've done this for a while. I've written all of that, and I mastered, you know, certain flow. Now I want to record. This is the track I want to record. You know what I mean? Do you ever remember that?
I do remember
that moment.
I do remember it. It was. I was at school. I went to Laurier.
Okay, all right.
University at Laurier, and then some of the guys on my dorm, they were rapping. I saw them recording in their room. So I was like, that looks cool. That looks cool. And then my cousin was doing some shit too back here in Toronto. And so he had a studio, so I'd be going to his place. I'd be recording at school. So it's kind of like a mixture of the two.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people around me were doing it. So that's...
Okay. All right. See, back to learning. Back to learning. Back to learning. Oh my gosh, man. I have to. It's edutainment I'm trying to do, people. Edutainment.
I like that. Edutainment. I like that.
That's what I'm trying to deal with, because that's the only way you're gonna reach people's brains.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. It's the only way you're gonna reach people's brains.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And we have a very short attention span. So It's like, I don't really blame certain artists on the clout and being popular to get by. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Right? Don't get me wrong. Talent does get you there, but you gotta be put. It's either you have the talent and start doing content with it. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Man, straight up. But yo, when you were up in the booth and all of that, your first track and all of that and everything, were you pleased with it?
No, I hated my voice. I couldn't stand it.
But you had to learn from thyself.
Oh yeah, you have to. You go through it.
You have to record. Some people don't understand this. It's even with editing and shit. Some people are like, oh my God, we have to go through this again? Yeah, we have to do this again to perfect it, because the day when you're listening to it, you're going to be, oh my gosh, it's going to be in the brain. You know what I mean? Because how many times you've gone through it?
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, to have, I call it MOC, master your own creativity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You master your own creativity, then, you see how far you get, right?
Yeah.
And you started mastering your own creativity at the times from you seeing the mistakes and everything what you learned from yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
No, for sure. It was out of necessity that I learned a lot of things. It was like at first, it was my homie would make beats, so I'm like, but he wasn't making enough beats for me, or he wouldn't make the type of beats I wanted. I want specific types of beats. So I was like, I gotta start making beats. And then I want to record. I don't like how my voice sounds. So I gotta spend more time with this. So I can't bother my cousin record me all the time. I gotta sit here and record myself so I get it to the point. Right. It's always.
So you're telling me through the frustration.
Oh, it's all that.
You had to be forced.
For sure.
To learn to master your own creativity.
For sure.
Okay, people, you're hearing that again? Edutainment here. Edutainment. Yes, edutainment here, man. Straight up. And I'm loving it. Yo, on the real, I'm loving that track, Baga Girl.
Baga gotta roll. Baga gotta roll.
You know what
Respect,
I mean?
respect, bro. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
Loving
that's
it
fun.
still. But there's another video you guys did together.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's what
what-
it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh shoot! Yo, you see, I didn't do that on purposely, people. I didn't do it on purposely. Yeah. So I've seen a clip of that video of you guys, and it looks pretty good. You know what I mean? I
Respect.
like it. I like it. I'm actually anxious to see more. You know what I mean? Like straight up, more and is better, but less, not too much. You know what I'm saying? We want to just give him enough that. Yeah, I need more of that. Oh, hey, whoa, not yet, not yet. It has to simmer a bit. You know what I mean? Have to simmer a bit, and that means the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. It is what it is.
It is
It
what it
is
is.
what it is. But yo, you guys just put out that track,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And you guys were in the studio with that and everything. So yo, like, did it take long for you guys to write that together and all of that?
That was quick. I think
Yeah, that was
one
a quick.
session.
That was a quick.
That was one
record.
session. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a.
Did
yeah.
you guys agree upon the beat just like that, or
That
did
was
you guys
quick.
thought
It was-
kinda
it was
look
quick.
around
That
some
was
beats
quick.
beforehand?
I mean, we cycled through some beats, but it wasn't long. Like
No.
it was more. We got straight to the
We were
point.
in a
Really,
groove, I think we were
Yeah.
doing a lot of work together. So
I think
so
we
it
even
makes
did
kinda
maybe
quick.
like 2-3 tracks
Yeah,
even.
that was probably
Yeah,
multiple
yeah?
tracks.
yeah,
That day was
yeah.
probably
That same
multiple
day.
tracks, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
getting in the vibe.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Always getting in the vibe.
The-
Into the vibe.
You know, it's like you said, it's mastering your own art. So like when we go or do anything in the studio or anything needs to be done show wise, like there is no joking around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to take the art serious to get it to the people that love the music. You know, there comes a time where, like you said, once you master the writing, you master the beat, the producing, the mixing, mastering, it goes down to you have to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. After that, you already got that stuff. You know, it's getting it out there, being the person you say you are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Showing up for that guy every day. You know, and no one's gonna do it for you. That's the craziest part about being an entrepreneur in general.
Yes.
It's beyond an artist. It's anybody that's in that field where you really have to rely on yourself. You have to show for yourself because nobody's gonna do it for you.
That's real.
Right?
That is real in the field there. Straight up goods, guy. You guys are moving like tag team wrestling here. You know what I mean? You guys are looking for the belts, right? No, you know what
That
I'm
part.
saying?
Yeah, that
That
part.
part.
Straight up. And then after it's like when the match won, tag in. You know what I mean? Tag in, all about a win. You know what I mean? No
Yep.
sin. You know what I
Don't
mean?
kill me.
Shit. Boy, I have to say, like on the real, like when you guys are doing a session, like how long does it like to get your mind set upon that? I would have to. You know what I mean?
Your mind set on like find the
Like let's talk about like how should I say, like it's day one of all right, look, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I get what you're saying. So you want to know basically our recording process.
just a little. You know what I mean? Like, do you guys find out the chorus first, or you guys deal with the?
You know what's so crazy? It really just depends on the day.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we might spend maybe 20 minutes to an hour just cycling through a beat. Sometimes we might spend that on writing because we have the beat already, you know, and just formulating ideas or different angles how to get to a record, or, you know, maybe try this. But it really doesn't take us that long to really get anything.
I think it's also like we just like even before that we probably worked together for a year already before that. If not a year and a half, you know.
Okay.
So it's like you build chemistry with people. You build understand how to work in the studio with each other. What does this person do? How does this person get motivated?
Right.
Okay. Understandable. That's understandable. Still, straight up, I would have to say, to get the develop the chemistry and all of that, to get that vibe and everything. Because you guys have that vibe, bro. Straight up.
Respect.
You have that party vibe, them party vibes.
Respect.
You know what I mean? And that you want to move.
Mhm.
That's the bottom line, man. Making people move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And groove. Because if you can master that, you have something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I know, say you guys have something, man. We love the vibes. Oh, yeah,
Respect.
go on.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Straight up. So that's So is the EP both of you guys, or is it
Dark Clouds, that's Vachi's EP.
Yeah, that Black Clouds that I said earlier just came out April 19th. If you haven't checked that out, go please check that out. That's streaming on all platforms everywhere. Um that one we did a video, the single on there. You can say it is what it is. That's what the video is there for.
Okay.
But there's there on EP. But I'm also working on, like I said earlier, Black Clouds too. For yeah. So the announcement's out. No, but I did do a little teaser on social media. So yeah, I am working on Blackouts 2 for the fall. Hopefully, it's ready and everything gets cycling. But more singles on the way. I know JC has a lot of. I heard some exclusive ish from this guy that he has. He has a lot of records right now.
So
Yeah,
what's coming out for you for this summer?
I got a joint project with George P.
Okay.
President. So
All
that's
right.
what Bag Gal. That's off that. That's the
all
first
right.
single for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
That's
so,
the first one. Then I got my own personal project I'm putting together too.
Okay. Anything you can say?
Anything I can say is
About
it's gonna be dope as fuck.
Yeah.
That's what I can say about it.
Does it have a title or anything? Your project or
The personal, no, that does not.
yet?
No,
Not as yet.
no, I'm playing with some ideas, but nothing
First
announced
things
yet.
first. Just record it. Just get everything done, and then after that, name
Yeah.
it. After
New first single coming out soon though. That Emotion. That'll be the first single.
Emotion.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
already like the name of
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Emotion. Because sometimes we get emotional,
Sometimes people get too emotional.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's all about, motion, moving in the ocean. You know what I mean?
the motion,
Ocean,
the motion in the ocean.
Yeah.
They say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But will you guys, like you said last night, you guys performed? How was the energy with that?
I was dope.
Where did you guys perform that?
This is at Hard for Deal With. You know Hard for Deal With, the DJ? He's running events every Tuesday.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So
This Tuesday coming up, unique event space, 955 Wilson.
Yeah,
We'll be there.
unique event space.
Okay. When?
This Tuesday,
This
coming up.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Next week.
Yeah,
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
definitely
Yeah.
be there. And the performance was fire because the DJ just ran it back like
Played
two,
three
three
times in a row.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's really good. Yo, next question I should be asking. Yo, is there any radio campaigning for the single? Will there be?
Actually, there already is.
Already?
The numbers already been going up.
Oh, for real?
So, yeah. So it's going. It's doing what it's got to do. Even especially Bag Gal.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, that's already over 5K
Oh shit.
and going. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
5K on YouTube. Right
yeah,
now, first week.
the first week. That's right. So yeah, things are going. Things are happening. Respect and shout out to everybody who tuned in for those videos. By the way,
Yeah,
too.
respect.
Appreciate it all the time.
Appreciate you coming through the shoe, bro. You blessed us that day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rastafari summer have to be everywhere as much as you can.
Yeah.
This guy, you know what I mean? BTS interviews at video shoots. You know what I mean? Hit me up. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Yeah.
Goods, man. But besides that, you guys gonna be taking that out of town as well.
Definitely some plans to travel.
Plans with that?
Well, technically, I'm already like traveling.
This man's always on the road. He's only in Toronto half the time.
Yeah, like half the time. Like I'm going to be in Ottawa Friday. So
Okay.
yeah. So a lot of moving back and forth. Jace, you come all the way from west all the time coming.
Yeah.
In. So yeah, we actually are really busy doing a lot of things on the road. To be honest, that's crazy. Because even tomorrow I'm leaving. I'm going all the way up to Mississippi Station. So
Where?
Mississippi Station.
Mississippi? You mean Mississippi?
Not the states. It's crazy because everybody says that everybody goes in
okay.
not there, but definitely far from here. That's for sure.
Oh, okay, man. Because Mississippi is far.
Yeah, it is.
It is far, man.
Yeah.
But you have performed over the states. You performed over the states as well.
I lived in the States.
You lived in
I
the
lived in Miami for 3 years.
Oh shoot! Damn, I didn't know that.
So did that.
How is that experience? Coming from the land of the cold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
man.
And, living in a nice
Truthfully?
orange sunshine.
I was
state.
thinking about this. I don't think my body ever recovered. I don't like
What?
coming back to Canada. I don't feel like I ever got used to the cold. You know,
Really? At
after
Yo,
that
skipping 3
100.
winters is kind of like
Oh,
Yo,
you cheated the system.
cheated. I cheated
Huh?
the system, and then I couldn't deal with it. When I come back up here.
Oh. So you performed over there and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
You networked and everything over there and everything. How's the difference from over there compared to here? I'm gonna ask you the same question too.
such a difference.
I could bet it's a big difference, but the difference is what it's like. It's like this: you're in a pond of whatever, right? Now you leave that pond, you're in a different pond now, right? Now, yo, like you're totally different. Well, compared to like them, like I've been to the States a few times. They always say, "Oh, you talk differently and all of that and everything." But now you guys are doing music over there, so like I don't know how the vibe is with that.
I
You know
love
what I
that. I
mean?
love Miami.
I
love
love
that
Miami
city. I
too.
love that city. It's
Yeah.
Because it's all like all in different peoples in one in Florida there, right?
yeah, Florida. It's very it's like Toronto too in its own way. It's very multicultural. You
Yeah,
have people
yeah.
from all over the world. You have a lot of Russians, a lot of Arabs, a lot of it's very Spanish. Everyone's
Very.
it's
It's
basically a
funny to
Spanish
say
city.
that.
Like
Yo, don't
everyone,
forget the Haitians.
a lot of hate.
They,
Yeah, shout out Red Eyes, my big
shout,
homie.
yo,
Yeah,
shout
yeah.
out,
Shout out to
shout out
Zoes.
Red
Yeah.
Eyes. Yeah.
Damn, man. I never been down there. I would love to go down south down there. I've been down to Alabama. You know, I've been down to Detroit, Philly.
Mhm.
A few places in the states, but that's a different story. But I like to go to more hot places. I would love to go to Cali one day.
Cali.
Cali,
Mhm.
California. Have you guys
Yo,
been to Cali?
nah,
I never been to
yo,
Cali.
but shout out to my cousin Akil Henry because he be out there in Cat in
Okay.
LA. Shout out to my
Okay.
cousin Akil, yo, he be going
Yo,
hard, 5-star.
the West Coast has love for us for D2E.
Mhm.
You have to say that straight up. They got love for us, man.
Mm.
We did like a conference with some of them guys over there. Yo, man, on the real, they be sharing and all that. I have to admit one thing. I love our city. I do. I love our city. I love Toronto and all of that.
Big
But
up. I love Toronto.
I'm a Torontonian.
Shut up.
Yeah, real shit.
But correct me if I'm wrong though. The screw face capital bullshit, the attitudes and all of that has been going on for years and everything. And I've analyzed certain things with it. And if we weren't like that, we would be coming up like Atlanta. You know what I mean? Atlanta is like so united. You know what I'm saying?
Like they figured out the keys over there in the States, right? The one thing they understand, that whole barrier of trying to be the best on your own doesn't work. Like America understands that very well. Like you got to play your part for everything to run. The producer got to be the producer and want to be a produce, and the video guy wants to do the video, and they take their job serious. Like, and it doesn't even have to always just be just a financial thing.
Yeah.
It's just your craft, right? If you take it serious, then you make it there. The people who will bring it there with you will respect you for it because they do the same thing. No,
yes.
like when we go to studios, I expect, well, I'll just say for me, I expect the artist to at least be professional. Like, let's work on the record, get it done first before we go do anything goofy or show out. I don't like the show out. I don't like the whole look at me. I mean, now let's just get the record done and then release it for the people who love music and let them hear it. You let them judge it and take it, right?
Yeah.
That's
Point
I
taken.
think we stop being the screw face when we stop screw facing. It starts with us. It starts with every single person.
You're damn right it does.
It's
It
like
does.
if your mentality is different, then you're gonna attract different energy to you. If you have the same mentality as everyone else, it's gonna turn into that.
That's true. That is
I think
true.
that there's as a city, Toronto hasn't experienced the type of success that some of these other cities have, like Atlanta, like Miami, like we've had one real generation of success. Right?
Yeah.
You can look at that one real, like Drake, Weekend. That's one generation.
Mhm.
Atlanta's already had multiple of those.
Yeah.
Miami's had multiple. New
Yeah.
York's had multiple of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like I think the experience level is just lower here. So there's less like people that say, "Oh, you can do it different ways."
Right.
Everyone is when you haven't seen success, when success feels so far away, you hate on everyone else's success.
Yeah.
But if you know that actually when you can work together, you can build success. It's a different
Yeah,
mentality.
it's different when you start understanding that in order to operate and get somewhere, again, it's back to everyone needs to understand their role and want to do it.
Well, there's a lot of
It's
people
just
afraid of coming out of their own lane.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I mean that in different ways. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like not only through the music, even through business and all that, but through the music wise, I'll put it this way. I love it how you guys mixed it up. You see, you guys are not afraid to come out of your lane, so I don't need to explain that to you.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But I'm gonna explain this to you. You know what I mean? But you see that I noticed that ones who are not who are afraid to come out of their lane, they don't get as far. You know what I mean? Because look, you see how you guys came and combined a reggae track and all of that now.
mm,
I love it. I want to see that more often. You know what I mean? I love to see that a lot more often. But I don't know why people are afraid to come out of their lane to do that. You know what I mean? Straight up. Like, I'm not saying you cannot stay in your lane and perfect your craft, but if you perfected your craft, right?
yeah,
And it's like this, you're digging up other artists who's not in your genre of music,
mm-hmm,
but you're digging them. So yo, maybe possibly it could come together to combine and make music and make a hype, not track, a hit. You get
mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So like if we could do that more often, you see now, if you're in the reggae or whatever, if they're having the show, you're on the show. If it's a hip hop thing, you're on with them because they have the reggae thing and all of that. Or if it's an R&B thing, so on and so on.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
It make music instead of just staying in the lanes. Come out of the lane. What
Right.
do you guys got to say about that?
I would actually have to say that at the end of the day, being prideful and wanting to do everything yourself is just gonna get you nowhere. You can't be afraid to learn things you've never experienced before. Like that's how you grow. Like there's many things with last year that I've learned. That does it mean I throw away everything else that I learned? No. But that's an add-on to anything I want to do. Like last year I've been mixing and mastering my own stuff lately, making my own beats. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's
Right.
something I wasn't doing 5 years ago, 7 years ago. Like
Right.
7 years ago, 10 years ago, I'm just writing. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just, you know, buying off beats and all that stuff, getting leases or exclusive rights, whatever the case may be, how you artists do it, right?
Mm.
But now it's a different ballgame because now I don't need to wait for an engineer. If I want
Mhm.
to go and record in a studio,
Mhm.
I can record it and mix it myself.
Yeah.
You can record it, mix it yourself.
Yeah.
We don't rely. It's a different level. You're not relying
But you see
anymore
now
on
what
that
right there,
on
you're not
anybody
afraid
really.
to come out of the lane right there. You see
Yeah.
again in different ways. You learn one way. Now, yo, it's like, yo, I need to get my sound perfect exactly the way it is.
My bad, bro,
You
bro.
know?
My bad, bro. But it's crazy because Black Clouds was both produced, mixed, and mastered by both of us because of the records on there. Because
Okay.
two of the records he mixed and mastered, and then the other three I did. Right.
Okay.
So that shows you right there, like just putting in the effort and willing to learn new things. And there's many different things, you will try and it'll sound weird. And yeah, and I'll say this even for the general public and everybody out there, like
Yeah.
you might try different things and a lot of them might fail, bro. Like I'm
Mhm.
gonna be 100, like you know what I'm saying. You're gonna go and give it 100, and someone might say you suck, but it doesn't mean you stop doing it because the more you keep doing it, like they say, practice make perfect. Your body will naturally get that in second nature, and then you can go on to the next thing. It's crazy. You remember the time where you couldn't even really record because you're so focused on writing, and then after you're done writing, you didn't even know. It's funny, you didn't even notice it. Now you're trying to like get the flow, like you're trying so hard to get the flow on because you naturally just got the words. You went
Well,
past that.
because you did the formula.
There you
You're doing the
go.
formula first. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're not getting the flow first before you have the words,
Right.
right? You know
Right.
you'll have the flow, but now you're trying to find the right flow for these words.
Right.
Right?
And then there's stages where that'll get frustrating. You might get writer's block. Sometimes, like you said, you might record yourself and you hate your voice. There's so much levels where people fall off. People might say, I'm done with music right there. Some people pass it and then they break that barrier. And then writing gets in the way and then they get chopped there. you know.
Explaining the frustrations of an artist, of a writer.
And we didn't even get to like marketing
Oh
and
shit, that's another
business.
thing,
We
bro.
didn't even get there's we didn't even get to the business side too. Even that, that's just artwork. That's just the art. So the people need to understand, like, art, being an artist is not easy. So those who do have that ability to make it sound good
Yeah.
and bring harmony to a record, show some appreciation to all them too, you know. Like, it doesn't have to always be at a show, because people also have lives. As artists, we have to understand that too.
Yeah.
But there's other ways of just, you know, even being commendable to somebody. It doesn't, that, you know, you doing what you do, ain't nobody sitting there. There's people who not gonna sit there for hours to do that, chop it up and or do this and do the setups. You know what I'm saying? Be respectful to everybody else that's like dealing with what they're doing. Doesn't matter what that is. That's all I'm saying. And don't give up. You're gonna fail, but there's gonna be one.
But you see, if you don't fail and have mistakes, you'll never be prepared for any mistakes.
Right.
And from mistakes makes more perfection, because certain mistakes you might have learned something that you might have not seen there.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Straight up. And you
Win or learn, never lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
You never lose. You never lose if you keep on learning. Right?
It's crazy. Can I share a story?
Go
It
ahead,
popped in my head
please,
right now.
Please,
So
please do.
I was in Miami.
Go on.
Okay. And we were doing stuff for MMG at this time.
Okay.
But something went sour. Okay. I was like this close.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean, I could lick it, you know?
Yeah.
But then something was said, I'm not gonna go, you know, expose things, certain things. But yo, I remember I sat there, and I mean, I cried, bro. I've never cried so hard in my life. I felt like everything I did at that moment was for nothing. To the point I wanted to throw away music altogether. I was like, you know, when you reach a certain height, you're just like blunted.
Yeah.
But then again, for some reason, there's always interactions. Capo's calling me, telling me to do music. You know, other entities are calling me to come to the studio, come to a show, and I'm like, but I show out, you know. So it's weird. It's like if you're meant to do something, you can't escape it. Is what I'm saying. Even if the fails come in, you have an urge to just do it.
Well, sometimes, you know what? To be honest, besides, like, okay, writer's block, taking a break and all that. Sometimes it's just good to just watch the scene and see what going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you might see the scene kind of changing and stuff during that time, and it might be the right time to be taking a little, you know, to yourself. That's the way I look at it. And at the same time, your mind might be even more open.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Yeah, but the sad part is that most people don't have that opportunity to really even do that, because everything's so regimented. And then, you know, wake up, work, come. If you have kids, feed the kids, go to sleep because you got work. Not a lot of people are able to have time to put in a hobby and put in the willpower to really make it something serious.
Well, one way or another, anything going on through your life, you have to take a little time to yourself.
You do.
To self-evaluate.
That's important.
Well, your energy, your motivation can't come from other people.
Yeah,
it has to come from within. It has to come from God. It has to come from something inside of you.
Said from God.
Yeah.
I'm really on that a lot, from God.
Yeah. Because if it's not from that, it's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
Today you're gonna be motivated. Tomorrow you're not.
Yeah. 100.
Amen to that, brother.
It's funny. You know what comes with that? Discipline.
Oh yeah.
Because those days when you don't want to do it, but you gotta, you know, it's funny. It's a relation. Is like if you had to take out the recycling, you know, those days where they come, they take it. Imagine you're sick to your stomach, can't get up, but you know if you don't do that,
oh man, it's gonna be
right. It's that same thing. You gotta have that willpower. Yeah.
By nature, music is a very this industry is very much full of valleys and highs. You know, there's a lot of great moments, a lot of low moments. You go through all of it. You know, I think that.
But if you don't go through that, how are you gonna perfect your craft as well?
But I think you can only go through that really if you don't get too pulled into it. Don't get too pulled into the highs. Don't get too pulled in the lows. Just try and stay focused.
Yeah.
Always be focused, regardless, no matter what it may be. If it's negative or if it's positive, you have to be focused to yourself for yourself being. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, you're going to go insane in the membrane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Straight up.
Yeah.
I have to say that. You know? self-preservation is the best key because yo, on the real, I meditate every day. I
Mm-hmm.
meditate like I have
That's what's
time to
up.
That's
myself. Like I have to like have a little time to myself. I don't care what's going on. You know what I mean? I have to have that certain time during the day. I don't care when, but it has to happen.
yeah,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
with
And
that.
I've been doing that for the last couple of years.
That's dope.
yeah.
That's
You know
dope.
what I mean? It's my uh how should I say covenant to myself and God.
I
Yeah,
respect
You know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
Straight up, because we're so busy with our everyday lives, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We don't take the time to like. Sometimes some people don't really take care of themselves,
Yeah.
and that's another way of taking care of yourself through your mind. You know what I mean? You don't take care of yourself through your mind, you're going to lose, bro.
Yeah.
You're not going to cruise. You're going to lose,
Starts
no
here.
matter what. No matter what. But it's an endless war through the
Mm.
mind. You know what I mean? It's not just easy said and done because the mind is a very complex thing. You know what I mean? Our brain is almost like a computer because we always have memory, right? And we compute certain things, how to figure out stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? Straight up. But it's very wild, and I don't care what computer they come out with or anything, it will not figure out the human soul with the mind.
Mhm.
Straight up. And that I really appreciate with music coming from the soul, bro. Pain, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And the joy. You know what I mean? That I really appreciate with music. I gotta turn off my notification. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? But yeah, that's the way I look at it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, man. But you guys are very positive with your music, and that's another thing when it comes to music. How important it is to be um doing music and being responsible for your own creativity as well, like through your own message with stuff, because I remember Pac been saying certain things in the past about that. As artists, we should be, you know certain things that, because we are role models, right? when it,
Oh,
you do a when you reach certain heights on certain things, like yo, I seen certain stories on people, bro. It's like yo, and it's like it's not a joke. You know what I mean? Certain people think it's a joke, but it's not a joke. Especially
what you put out comes back to you.
well,
Whatever you put, I've been a
yes,
part of a project. I've seen it. Like where you're talking about trap shit, then I
yeah,
guess don't be surprised
Oh
if
yeah.
DEA starts
yes,
raiding your
Oh
fucking
yeah.
house.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Oh
you
yeah.
see, you're talking about gun violence,
mm,
people start dying. You know, you talk
Yeah.
about
mm,
toxic women. Okay, toxic
mm,
women are all around you. Like whatever you put out there comes back to you. So just be mindful of
yes.
that.
Hell yeah.
That's something when it comes to making music, I think about.
Mhm.
Always be mindful of that all
Yeah.
the time, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like on the real.
Because words are powerful too, right?
Yes,
And
there.
and it's funny because even if you look at it in a logical type of view too, you're calling all of that stuff to you because you're gathering all the people that love that stuff. Like you said, the trap shit.
Yeah,
You're gonna gather all the people that love trap shit.
yeah, yeah.
All the dudes that love killing. That's their songs. You are their anthem. No, like
Yeah,
let's be
yeah, it's
100.
real.
Like
It's
let's
real.
just think about it. That
Whatever you put out
so
comes back to you.
at the end, if you're not really about it, then don't do it. It's just like it's
Or even if
just
you are about it or you were about it, it doesn't is that what you want in the future?
it, but the thing is though, that's why I say there's some people who are built into that. They can't help it. I'm talking. We understand what we're talking about here,
Yeah.
right? They're into that. Fine, if you can handle that, handle it. But if you can't, and that's what you're doing, I just think try to be your real self. Just be you.
Yeah.
You know, if
But,
you
but
and I'll go real deep. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
be you, yes, but
And what I mean by you, meaning
mhm.
if you're nerdy and you like your books and you like and on it, do that. If you like rapping about, going on a river and doing, there's so many different styles of music that you can do and express yourself. You don't have to be like because this guy's getting all the girls or don't do that. That's
But
not
there's a
really you.
lot of
Don't do
follow
that.
fashion, man, because
It
they seen this one, it looked like it worked for them. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do that
it
too.
doesn't
What do
work
you
for
have to say
everybody.
about that?
It
You know what I mean?
but
There's a lot of that. Come on, no, what back in the day they call it biting and
yeah,
stuff like that.
right. But look what the biting's doing though. People are doing
They're getting
things,
bite back.
but they're doing things, and then serious things are happening. to
If
them,
white, black.
to the point where they didn't probably didn't expect it, right? So all I'm saying is just be yourself. All I can do is respect somebody who's really themselves.
Yes,
No matter what it is, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
that is true. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even in the artistry, it's funny. The ones that blow up, Kodak Black,
What
is he
about
not
Kodak?
himself?
Very much.
ASAP Rocky,
I can't speak to that. I don't know.
you know, is it right? Well, we already know. Little Baby, is he not himself?
I don't know. These are artists that I
The
don't know.
the baby. I'm gonna take it there with you,
Go
right?
on.
Even if you don't like them,
Go on.
right? This isn't about like.
No.
Why did they blow up? Because they express themselves. Period. Their own unique self. Right?
Yes.
Right? To put a persona for a little bit, but it was their unique self. Once they let it go, that's themselves. They're not, half of them are not really as big as they were, right? Some of them are
I think
bigger
you
than
can
they
blow
were.
up without being yourself, though. There's examples of that.
No, there is, but you
Or-
don't get that far. How far do you really
You
go,
know what?
though?
He does have a point on certain note because
Kanye West,
let's just get
even
real
though
here.
we-
When you come out with certain conscious music, they want to shut you down,
Yeah,
right? Not true. They
It's
want to
not
shut
true.
you down. They want to shut you down. But you come up with certain like how should I say, to the standards of what's going on,
hmm
you know, then it's okay, you know. But if you come up with a certain message, you know, and you're actually getting through, oh boy,
right.
you know.
But the thing is, all outside of the message, because of their character, Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, we will put Drake there with the Weekend.
Mm.
The way they can send out, they can say anything. The Weekend can talk about, all types of crap, and then the way he presents it, it drags you in that energy. You know, even when he says, "Why you looking at me?" What was the song we were listening to yesterday?
Which one?
Why you looking at me for? This ain't a fucking
Oh,
what was that one? What was that one
True
again?
Love. That's right.
True Love,
I'll
right?
take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The man
Old
said this
song.
isn't like a song to sing, basically, but you're singing the song. You understand what I'm saying? He's
Well,
telling you don't sing this, but yet you're still singing it.
Well,
You understand what I'm saying?
Doesn't that happen on certain like say platforms like radio and stuff like that? That certain song keeps on going on, even though you don't like it, you might start humming it. You might start
Yo.
by mistake or some shit.
I've seen people. Perfect example: the song "Men's Not Hot."
Uh-huh.
I heard that song play. I heard people hate that song.
Mm.
Yo, why they even playing that? Playing that. All of a sudden, a couple days later, a few weeks later, "Men's Not Hot."
Yeah.
Men's Not Hot. That's all you're hearing,
Yeah.
right? Just because of
The
repetitivity.
repetitivity because they make it sure it gets through.
Crazy.
Like glue.
Like Lou. But he was him. But even when you look at the video, he was his own unique self. Because even the things he was doing, you could tell like that was him. Right?
Well, artistry is artistry, bro.
Yeah.
That's the way me look at it. He mastered his own creativity in his own way. You have to. It's like to me, it's like the martial arts, brother. You know what I mean? You find your art, you find your style.
Right.
Yo, you master it. You know what I'm saying? And done deal. And if that's the way I look at it, and put the bar up, especially if you have a different style than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
And I think that's also one of the hardest things to do. Finding your own uniqueness in the
That
music.
takes time.
Oh yeah.
Well, it
And
does
part of
take
the time,
time.
part of the time is getting okay with showing yourself.
Well, hey, man, it's
That's
just
that.
like-
That's the hardest part.
It's just like Dragon Ball Z, man. You gotta be in that chamber, you know what I mean, and do all them training and make it to the higher
takes time.
level, you know what I mean?
It takes time.
To be honest, it'll take a couple years
Oh, that's how it goes.
for sure.
It's not like you're in the capsule and,
Years.
and you open it up and you come out and a year just happens, you know? It takes time. It does take time to
And
get on the grind.
to be honest, it's always developing music. There's always new software. There's always new devices being made for music.
Well, you know what?
You know,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
music
Music
is
has
always-
been with tech savvy. Like it's always been neck and neck. No
Yeah.
matter what. The new thing for music, it goes with technology as well.
Always.
Yeah.
All the
Yes.
time.
Always.
Regardless. Same with video production too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Straight up. It's like a whole different, way of art, technology.
Completely.
you know.
Completely. Look at the music industry now. There's 120,000 songs uploaded on Spotify every day.
And
Every
that's-
kid has a home studio.
And
Every-
that's been a very big controversy for another topic for another time, because there's a lot of peeps who are pissed off about that, mostly the old school,
How can you be
because they
pissed off
never
about that?
signed up for that. They never did. They never signed up for downloads or anything. It was tapes,
Yeah.
CDs, records. You know what I'm saying? They were making money, a lot more money at the time. Now, they're not making as much because downloads. You have to, like I said, it comes down to not only being talented, you have to be popular. You got to be putting out content. You got to be putting out not only music videos. You got to be like boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying?
Consistency.
The money isn't live
Consistency.
now. In music, money isn't live.
It's all about harnessing it, how the evolution on how things are.
Well, the industry has shifted. The money isn't live. The biggest bags is Live Nation. The biggest companies. It's not Warner. It's not Universal. It's not the labels. It's the who's putting the festivals on.
Yeah.
Who's the show? You know,
Yeah.
Big X the Plug. That kid just came out of Texas.
Okay.
His first record, huge sample. You're not making money on the sample. You're not making on the front of the. You're making money on the shows.
That's
Yes.
right.
That's what you're
right.
doing. You're putting
That's
the big
right.
record out so you can
Well,
get
know
booked.
what?
That's
I'm
right.
glad you
That's
brought
right.
that up, because on the real, like, I can go through a list who's coming through here, and it's all old school coming through here, and they're still on tour. You got Roots, you got Cypress Hill, you got the Wu Tang. You know what I'm saying? Yo, they're all coming, and down to Ice Cube. You coming down too. You know what I mean? Everybody coming down, and they're still making music, and they're still on tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Straight up. And that's what I'm saying. You are right.
Yeah.
You are so right.
Yeah,
because
that's really
if you're
what it
not
is.
right, then how come all the old school is still touring? How come they're still touring? You
Yeah.
can just stay home and just reap on the revenue of their royalties.
Yeah.
Not true?
Yeah.
But
It's
they,
true.
But they can be
They
making
still-
more money being out there on tour.
Yeah.
Right?
Tour.
Yeah,
That's where you
tour.
make your money. You
Yeah.
sell your merch. You get out
Yeah.
there in front of people.
Yeah.
You can fill a room. You're gonna make money.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's right.
right.
That's the bottom line to it, man. Edutainment, people. Listen through edutainment. All right? Straight up through. But yo, 2025, we still alive. I know that, yo, you
Yes,
guys
sir.
said some performances and all of that and everything. What's the future for both of you guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there gonna be another collaboration thing in the future,
Lots.
or an actual album
Tons of
besides
music.
the EP? You know what I mean? I like to dig a little here, you know.
Just keep working. We just keep working.
working.
Yeah.
More music, more
Yeah.
shows. Look out for stuff. Yeah. More videos.
Yeah. More
it.
videos. Definitely.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
We're at it every day right now. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, all right. Don't know. Yo, remind the people where they can find you on all digital platforms, fellas.
At Jesse.Christopher on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, everything.
Skr. You already know the real Vachi. That's where you can find me on everything. You already don't know everybody that supports the podcast, supports us. Burp, burp.
Big up down there.
Appreciate you
Appreciate
guys.
you.
You're
The
done.
Rastafari Samurai having us on
Appreciate
here.
y'all.
Bop, 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 bop.
No, I appreciate
good.
y'all, man. I appreciate everybody listening. You know what I mean? Please subscribe to all the channels, EQTV, Down to Earth Podcast. You don't know we all about a win here. But yo, I have to end it like this. This is the Rastafari Samurai, never leaving you dry in your eye. I approve this message. Nation, what?
Brah.
You don't know, people. Yeah, man, we ended this just now. You know what I mean? Straight up. Thank you for tuning in.